All right, thanks for checking in here on the live stream. I am Jeremy Goodwin. We do not have any tornado threat right now in northeast Kansas, at least for most areas. I can't rule out the threat of tornadoes for areas maybe from Burlington, Ottawa, Lawrence. But areas that are in the rain now, the tornado risk is greatly diminished. If you're right at the front edge of the rain or out ahead of it, still possible, I'd say possible to see something like that. Now, we do have a couple of severe storm warnings that are still in place. We'll look at a couple of those. In Shawnee County, we actually have two different ones for Shawnee County right now. This one goes until 6:45, and the primary threat for this is winds to 60 miles per hour that is making its way into the eastern part of Shawnee County at this point. So that is not rotating or anything like that, but that's one of the warnings. Certainly some strong winds around Lake Shawnee, right over to the Douglas County line, and then to the southwest corner of Jefferson County also is in that warning. The other warning up here is for Jackson, Jefferson, and parts of Shawnee County. That one is also for winds to 60 miles per hour. We'll check out where the velocity shows the winds may be the strongest on this, getting into the Winchester area shortly, and Oskaloosa. And the storms themselves are moving very fast. So if we get these winds down to the surface, certainly get over 60 miles per hour is a possibility. But the clouds themselves, if you've looked outside, you can probably tell that they're really humming as the stronger jet stream wind is starting to get in over us right now. Farther down to the south, this stuff that's in Oklahoma is becoming severe. Southeast Kansas still has a risk of seeing damaging storms, but the risk of seeing tornadoes at this point is really going to be, I'd say right about there is the highest likelihood of seeing anything tornadic if we were to see it. So for most of northeast Kansas, the risk is over at this point for tornadoes. The watch still continues, and we do have a couple of severe storm warnings that are within the watch, of course. In a case like this, they have the tornado watch already out, and they're expecting to see more severe storms. Within that tornado watch, they may continue the watch anyway. It's just confusing to downgrade part of it to a severe storm watch versus keeping it all a tornado watch. So if you are behind the main line, still possible to see some damaging winds, but really the tornado threat is going to be right along the front edge of these storms and then just out ahead of them to the east. So again, the tornado watch continues till 10. I fully expect to see a lot of it getting dropped before that. Now this storm is one that I'm watching closely. That's going to be close to Greenfield, Kansas. That's not the same Greenfield as Iowa that had the big tornado earlier this year, but that storm is moving toward areas like Yates Center, and I wouldn't expect that to make it to Burlington, but the way it's kind of jogged out ahead of the main line there, that's one that would be a candidate that could become a tornado warning at some point. So that's one that we'll watch, but again, it's farther to the south, not really in the WIBW viewing region. Let's go to the next graphic here and see what's going on. We'll stream here for a little while. I'm not going to continue with this all night since we don't have anything particularly dangerous up here. It's nice to see some rain in the area, of course, and many of us got a decent rain out of this. So here's the wind at this point. You can see that the winds shifted in Topeka. Now it's out of the west at 28 miles per hour. We have any place the south or southwest wind still has a risk of seeing damaging storms and tornadoes, especially the temperatures are warm. So Ottawa, Osage City, Burlington, Lawrence still in the upper 70s. These are areas where I would still be concerned about the risk of tornadoes, whereas Topeka in the mid 60s, back to Concordia 50 in Marysville there. Just very unlikely to see anything like that once you get the north winds and that big cool down that's already arrived in many spots. Let's check this out. This is pretty amazing. I'll show you these weather cameras here. What I'm going to show you is the Cameron Council Grove, just really wild with some low clouds that are actually looks like they're probably right at the same level as the camera, maybe even a bit lower than the camera is. So check this out. Let's go to Council Grove there, bring up the cams. Take just a moment for my dots to load. There we go. So right there from Council Grove, check those clouds out. Coming from right to left, that's north is on the right, left is south, and those city lights you see in the bottom middle, that is Council Grove itself. And you can see the break in the clouds kind of in the back middle there. It's just an amazing shot there from Council Grove with those low clouds that are still streaking through as the cooler air comes in. Let's check out Emporia now. This is the live look at the west side of town. That's the Emporia cam provided by the folks at ValueNet Fiber. Still raining there. I'm going to try to bring up the camera downtown as well. There you go. From the Lyon County History Center. Downtown Emporia, of course, where we had that wild flood a couple of months ago. And then we'll look farther here to the north, getting into Topeka, Shawnee County. This is going to be the west side of town from Menninger Hill. We're seeing some lightning, but things have really calmed down over here on the west side of town. And then downtown Topeka from the Cyrus Hotel, the wind is not as strong as it was a few minutes ago. And we will likely see that warning. It expires in 1 minute, as a matter of fact. Both of these do. And I can't imagine for a moment that'll be extended to go on longer. So here's something I do want to talk to you guys about. Is we have a risk of severe weather coming again this weekend. So let me bring that up here. And I'll show you what's up with this thing. So let's go to the SPC side again. You've seen this thing a lot the last couple of days. So Storm Prediction Center, this is part of the National Weather Service, and your tax dollars pay for it, of course. So here we go. Convective outlook right there. Right down here is a section that says current day 4 to 8 outlook. That. Let's open that thing up. And it says day 4 has a risk in Texas. Day 5, it's up here. So day 5 is right there, Sunday. So we have a risk of seeing severe weather on Sunday across the area. We don't tend to see anything on this outlook for day 5, 6, 7, or 8, sometimes 4, but they don't generally pop something on there unless they're confident that there's going to be some sort of issue. So they are mentioning that Sunday afternoon from Texas to Kansas, lots of shear, mid-level lapse rate should support superficial development. Isolated large hail wind damage threat should persist into the evening as scatter storms move eastward across the southern and central plains. So we have to watch that storm. They don't tend to put anything at all on that day, day 4 through 8, unless it's a significant risk. And they don't tend to use higher language unless they see something. So they're not saying the tornado at this point, fortunately, but it's something that may get mentioned later on. So today, we did have a tornado warning that was issued for Atchison. That's the only tornado warning we've had in northeast Kansas at all. There's a severe storm warning now that goes till 7. That includes the northeast corner of Shawnee County over into Jefferson County. And let's read the text on this dude. See what they say. All right. Till 7. As of 6:42, they have a line of severe storms from 3 miles east of Nortonville to 3 miles south of Winchester, 5 miles south of Williamstown, moving east at 35. 60-mile-per-hour winds, radar indicated. All right, so that's what we've got, and that's not going to be a tornado risk. Please don't think that, but some wind damage certainly possible. And as you look at the radar there, let's check out the other version. This probably shows a little better. So 3 miles northeast of Nortonville, near Nortonville, extending down to the northeast part of Topeka, I think is what they said. So that's the warning there, going from the northeast part of Topeka, covering a lot of Jefferson County. Again, it's winds to 60 miles per hour, and the whole storm itself is moving rapidly. So when the whole storm is moving that quick, it doesn't take much to get the winds down to the surface. This warning goes till 7:30. It's a new warning that includes Douglas, Franklin, Jefferson, and Shawnee counties. The southeast part of Shawnee County, and that's also for 60-mile-per-hour winds, and nickel-size hail is a possibility with that. So that's till 7:30. That's going to include the town of Lawrence, Lecompton, Clinton Lake's in there as well. Overbrook is in this too. And again, this one's also considered to be Doppler radar indicated. So I want to check out how much rain we have seen out of this. And that one's got more impressive wind speeds than the other one did. These might be big numbers in here. 68. So there's some 60s to 70s in there in this. They're moving across the southeast part of Shawnee County and then into the western part of Douglas County. That's more impressive than anything we've seen so far today in northeast Kansas. Check out the reflectivity. It's going to jump off to something else. But let's check this out closer. Kind of backing up, you can see the storm filling in there. Let's see what the temperature is in Lawrence. I think Lawrence is still close to 80 degrees. All right, so Lawrence is still 77 degrees, and we have that severe storm coming in, and it's kind of jumped out ahead of the other part of the line. So that makes it more of a candidate to try to rotate. So we're going to have to watch this thing coming to Lawrence very closely. Not to scare anybody, just something that we're going to watch. All right, so anything along this line that would potentially become a tornado would have to jump out ahead of the line at this point. And we're getting some stronger motion in there. Let's check out the other radar. There's the one from Kansas City. That's the one from Topeka. Looking in more closely. And there's maybe a spin near Clinton at this point, near Clinton Lake. All right, so Bridge, can you guys hear me in there? Okay, just be ready in case I had a tornado warning issued. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but just kind of be ready. Thank you. All right, so the areas I'd be concerned about right now is going to be right in here from Clinton Lake to Lawrence, up almost Oskaloosa. If we were going to see something issued, that's the area it would be. There's already a severe storm warning there. I'm going to read the text on it again, and it looks like the winds were kind of starting to ramp up as well. So I saw that some of the particles are moving easily over 65 miles per hour. All right, located along a line from near Grantville to Overbrook to 3 miles north of Pomona Lake, moving east at 45. And the warning does mention that tornado watch is in place. A lot of times, you kind of read through it, you'll see different kind of hints of what they're thinking about. So I'm not saying they're going to tornado warn that thing, but I am saying is that of everything we've seen today, that's the most impressive signature I've seen in the WIBW viewing area is that thing that's getting close to Clinton Lake now. So along the line here, I'm still concerned about folks in Burlington because you are still ahead of the line. Your temperature is still deep into the 70s. Ottawa still, in a risk of seeing higher end severe weather. Areas like Topeka to Manhattan, this is not going to be a major event at this point. Oh, I know I was going to look at the rainfall amounts from the Doppler radar estimates today, see what we've got, and see if it's given us a good soaking in a lot of places. The last time we had good rain, it really missed folks to the northwest. This time it looks like it got everybody pretty well. Marysville, Blue Rapids, Leonardville, over to Concordia, looks like most folks have got at least a half inch of rain, maybe as much as an inch for some spots. So fortunately, it looks like we got a more widespread good-looking amount of rain this time. I haven't seen a lot of the totals yet. I'll get into those kind of after this line calms down. All right, so again, some of the particles here look like they're moving faster than things were earlier in the day. There's a 70 showing up right along the Shawnee-Douglas County line. That's a warning for Greenwood County. So Greenwood County has a new severe storm warning. That is just south of Lyon County, just straight south of Emporia. And that warning is for this. I mentioned this earlier, that was an area that was jumping out ahead of the line as well and was heading toward like Yates Center. This one does have potential. It's moving toward, yeah. There are a couple areas along that line that are suspicious. This is suspicious right there, near Union Center. And a little farther south, right near Moline and Elk Falls. That's an area to be concerned about too. But certainly this, and then this spot right here, just south of Eureka, that's also suspicious. I think that one of these actually said tornado possible. I'm going to check that out. Let's see which one of these was that. All right, I think it might have been, is it this one? All right, so these are saying 70-mile-per-hour winds with these. I know one of these to the south had tornado possible. They have, some of these will have severe storm warning with the term tornado possible in them. The Topeka National Weather Service doesn't tend to put that tornado possible tag on severe thunderstorm warnings, which I greatly appreciate. It just seems confusing to me to yell out to the public, severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible. You know, I think that if it's tornado warning or tornado, then if you think that's what's going on, you have to just warn it for what you think it is. You know, that's a one we don't tend to have here, thankfully. All right, so strong winds near Oskaloosa and getting to McLouth shortly here. Also strong winds near Lecompton and Clinton. And I'm going to see if we have any KDOT cameras around there. I think there's one in Lawrence that looks pretty good. I'm not sure if it's video or if it's a still image, though. All right, so let's bring up the Lawrence cameras here. This is the KDOT Can Drive website. That's what I'm going to bring up here. So that is K10. North of Clinton Parkway. That's K10 at Wakarusa. You see the strong winds there. Traffic getting through fine, but certainly strong winds. And then this one is not in service, unfortunately. All right. So that's what we see there from KDOT right now in Lawrence. All right, so we have a couple of different warnings there. One that's for the corner of Shawnee County to Jefferson County, another one for virtually all of Douglas County. And both of these are for winds to 60 miles per hour and hail the size of nickels being mentioned in both of these. And this one that's in Douglas County was starting to concern me because there's some spots in there that could start to rotate. It's not as defined as it was a few moments ago. That's good. All right, so let's zoom back out. Let's check out the thing that's in Greenwood County again. And if you are in areas to the west, like Manhattan, Concordia, Marysville, you are not going to see any sort of severe weather the rest of this evening and tonight. We will have a risk of seeing severe weather on Sunday. That's one we're going to have to deal with. And right now, again, I'm watching the stuff that's in the southeast part of Greenwood County. It also includes Elk, Wilson, Woodson counties, heading toward Fredonia. And I'm going to check out the hail size on this. It shows 1-inch diameter in the warning. And we'll see if the computer here is indicating anything bigger. It doesn't appear to be. There were some spots there earlier with the darker blue ships. It was over 1 inch at one point, but now it doesn't look like it's as impressive as it was. All right, we've got an update here on the severe storm warning. They're expiring the severe storm warning that was in Shawnee County and Jefferson. So the one that was for the corner of Shawnee County into Jefferson expires at 7, so it's going to go away. Or they're dropping even earlier than that. till 7. Okay, so that goes away in a few moments here. The other warning here that is for a big chunk of Douglas, Jefferson, Franklin, and the eastern part of Shawnee, that goes till 7:30. That's the one that looked like it was more spinny to me. So they're going to keep that one going. All right, there's a mesoscale discussion that's come out. So we can check that out. And I'll just take you over to the SPC page and you can read along with me. All right, so they have this circle drawn on there, and it has a, if you can't make it out, that is the Kansas and Missouri state line right there. This is kind of a bullseye around Kansas City. Topeka is right there, and this mentions the risk for damaging winds and a few tornadoes continue. So the risk of tornadoes for Topeka is almost surely 0 at this point, but damaging winds certainly still possible. They say still broadly unstable with 500 to 1,000 joules per kilogram of mixed level CAPE, which is not super high, but still sufficient for QLCS mode. So QLCS basically means you have a kind of a not a straight line of storms, but kind of a fragmented and zigzaggy line of storms, and you can see tornadoes in QLCS situations. QLCS tornadoes are much harder to pick out on radar, is kind of why that's important. All right, and it also says that given linear storm mode, main severe risk is likely damaging winds, strong mid-level flow aloft, and aid in downward transport of strong wind gusts, some potentially as high as 75 to 80 miles per hour. And the shear will intensify this evening with a low-level jet stream. Okay, so they are not done with the severe weather risk here. And they're continuing with the tornado watch at this point. And they dropped Jackson County. Jackson County is out of tornado watch. Well, Buncie is out. Morris County is out. So we continue with a severe storm warning for Shawnee County over into Douglas County. And again, they're mentioning this risk of seeing QLCS tornadoes, which are really kind of embedded circulations that are a little more hard to pick out. But that's all right. We're pros here. We can do this. All right. So I'll be watching everything that kind of gets jagged on the front edge of this line. Sometimes it can be embedded in the mess as well. That can happen. And Isaac, I'll just keep going past 7 here. But again, in northeast Kansas, we don't have anything that's tornadic at this point. We still have a tornado watch going until 10, and we have a severe thunderstorm warning for the eastern part of Shawnee County, much of Douglas, and the southwest part of Jefferson, the south part of Jefferson. That goes till 7:30. And they are mentioning 60-mile-per-hour winds with this one. This thing to the south is the one that looks more exciting to me as far as something that might start to produce that higher end wind. Okay, they've gone to 70 mile per hour here with the winds on this one. And that's heading toward areas like Fredonia and the Yates Center. Will probably stay south of Coffee County. But that storm looks like one that's going to become a bit more exciting. So around Eureka, you're getting some winds showing up in there close to 70. There's even a 75. And those values are going to be wherever the radar is actually hitting the storm. It doesn't mean it's at ground level. And this is getting more active along the line down into the northern part of Oklahoma, southern Kansas, which was expected, of course. And then up here, the most exciting thing we have by far is what's moving into the eastern part, well, not even the eastern part of Shawnee County anymore. It's mostly in Douglas, northeast Osage, and the northern part of Franklin. So that warning goes till 7:30, but I don't think it will continue for Shawnee County all the way. I bet they dropped Shawnee County from that a bit sooner. Just kind of judging by where it's moved at this point. All right, so check out if we're seeing signs of spin in this again. Looks like just south of Lawrence, just north of Willow Springs, there might be a small embedded circulation in there. Okay, so I think they just chopped off Shawnee County from that warning I was mentioning. Yep, there you go. So they chopped off Shawnee County from that warning I was just mentioning, and it is now focused over into just Douglas and Jefferson. Osage County was also dropped out of this warning. I'm going to read the warning text to you. Let's see. A line from 5 miles west of Tonganoxie to near Vinland to near Centropolis, moving east at 50. So they mentioned the tornado watch is in place still. And again, that's 60-mile-per-hour winds is the main concern they're mentioning with this at this point. And that should move into Lawrence shortly if it's not already in town. All right. And check out some of the city cameras around Lawrence. There's one that's at 6th and Congressional, I believe. And let's see, let's go to the west side of town. There's 6th and George Williams. Doesn't look that exciting. Check out the KDOT cameras there and see what these look like in the videos. So there's K10 at Wakarusa. It's K10 north of Clinton Parkway. And it's gusting over 60. I can't tell from those cameras. It doesn't look that bad along a K10. All right. So the only warning we have right now in northeast Kansas includes the southeast part of Jefferson County and a big chunk of Douglas County for winds to 60 and hail size of a nickel. I should sleep more. Okay, so in the southeast part of Greenwood County, as far as Kansas storms go, this is the one that looks the most dangerous to me. And they are still saying 70-mile-per-hour winds, considerable damage is possible with this. And let's read it. Let's see. Severe storms located along a line from near Severy to Howard, near Elk Falls, moving northeast at 45. Hail damage is possible with this. Wind damage likely to mobile homes, roofs, and outbuildings. And they mentioned that the tornado watch is in place. They do not say tornado possible. They just say winds to 70 are possible with this thing. So put that into motion. It's moving to the east-northeast and probably will be an issue for Yates Center within the next 45 minutes. I can hear it's pouring here at the TV station again. Look out outside on our roof. Not as heavy as it was earlier, but then the downpour rain, which is good to see. We've been extremely dry across the area lately, of course. So here's this velocity on this thing, kind of southeast of Climax, Kansas, and the spinny part of that to me is right about there. That's one of these things that would be a candidate for these QLCS tornado situations. So that's something that is worth watching. And if you're in Coffee County, I think that'll stay south of you. But Yates Center would need to watch that. All right, so Burlington has a heavy rain moving through right now. That will continue on and off for the next couple of hours for Burlington. Over to Wolf Creek, we'll have heavy rain as well. But none of that part of the storm looks like it's rotating right now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the live stream for now. And if anything else exciting pops up in our area, we will come back on with a live stream. And of course, we have the newscast on My TV at 9. And we have the 13 News at 10 on 13.1, of course, WIBW TV at 10. So if anything exciting happens here, I will come back and start talking about this. But for right now, the Yates Center area is well south of our coverage area, and I don't see that getting into Coffee County. And that thing that's in Douglas County is not causing any problems from right now that I see. But the southeast part of Jefferson County can see wind gusts to 60. All right, stay with us. We'll be back later this evening with more updates. We'll keep you safe and informed. Have a good night.